Peter.
the gavel.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, Peter, did you see in the Burlington Mall news, they're turning the Lord and Taylor into a lab? Okay, so you're hear about that?
Okay.
I know they're doing,
Read the comment and
making
ask
quite a
them to
bit more
address it.
labs. It's a platinum life science community now, bylaws, but I didn't know.
Call to order the August 9th, 2002 meeting of the North Andover Planning Board. Pursuant to Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022, This meeting of the North Andover Planning Board will be conducted in person and via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.northandoverma.gov. We have 2 public hearings tonight. Those will also be conducted in the same manner, both in person and via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Again, the specific information, general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with the right and/or requirement to attend this meeting and the public hearings can be found on the town's website at www.northandoverma.gov. In-person attendance of members of the public and board members will be permitted at this meeting and these public hearings. Members of the public who wish to watch the meeting or public hearings live may do so on their televisions by tuning to Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 26 or online at www.northandovercam.org. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time by technological means. If we're unable to do so despite our best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record proceeding as soon as possible after the meetings and or public hearings. If the members of the public would like to participate in the public hearings but not attend the hearing in person, please email your question or comment prior to or during the meeting or during the hearing to Jean Enright at jenright@northandoverma.gov. The question or comment will be read during the proceeding and responded to accordingly. Okay, we have 2 public hearings. We'll start with 315 Turnpike Street, Merrimack College.
We take attendance first.
Sure, we can take attendance first.
Kelly Cormier,
Here.
remotely. Alyssa Koenig,
Here.
Sean Kevelin,
Here.
Eitan Goberg,
I'm here.
Peter Boynton,
Here.
and John Simons has not arrived yet.
Okay, so we are starting this 315 Turnpike Street public hearing, doing it both in person and remote, and as of now, Mr. Simons is not present for this one. All right.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Felipe Schwartz. I'm Vice President for Capital Planning and Facilities at Merrimack College, and I'm excited to be here tonight to present our 3,200 square foot accessory structure known as the MAC Storage Building. This is a building that is intended to house storage equipment associated with athletics that is immediately next door to this proposed building. It is a building that is on the 114 side of the building. Currently, that area is let's call it a mismatch of different things that happen with the athletic complex. So this is an opportunity to screen that as well as store certain things that are associated with the athletic complex. Notably, we have started doing basketball on the ice, so we'd like to house the flooring that we have for the ice, the wood flooring, the subfloor, as well as the hoops that we have. We did 3 games last year, and we intend to do more this year. So this is a great opportunity to store that immediately next to the building. The site itself is, like I said, it's currently a combination of things that we have outside and we want to put inside. There are some vegetated impacts to that. We are before the Conservation Commission as well. We had a wonderful technical review committee. Thanks, Jean, for organizing that and have responded to the few things that came out of that. So Jeff Ketteritz of VHB is here to walk you through the technical details of the project, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Jeff Ketteritz with VHB. This is similar to the plans up. Just a quick update. We're also in the process of a stormwater peer review with Horsley Witten. That there were some minor modifications made, really particularly the stormwater basin off to the side, as shown in green here.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there anything that I can see online? Is this one of the
We
documents?
can go offline for you. It's not a significant change there.
I think they're gonna put the camera on that. Just start a thumbs up.
Okay, even better.
Kelly, can you see the camera now?
Yeah, yes, I can see it now. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Just for some quick context on the site, the existing Merrimack Athletics Center is planned bottom here. Yellow is the right-of-way to 114. We have 2 wetland resource areas in orange here on either side, associated 25-foot no disturb in blue, no build zone, 50-foot no build in purple, and the proposed storage building, 3,200 square foot, is the gray hatched area in between. The dashed line running through the middle of the building is the limit of existing pavement. And as Felipe mentioned, that's the extent of the area currently paved where miscellaneous use in the back there. So we'll be pulling a portion of that out to square it off to the building and dropping the new shed in. Drainage-wise, it's a pitched roof intended to slope to the planned north side of the building. There's a small French drain that's going to pick it up, and we're proposing a shallow infiltration basin just to the left of the building to provide water quality and peak rate attenuation. The majority of the back and forth with the stormwater peer review are updating the calcs to comply with the latest North Andover stormwater regulations.
Is there anything that shows what this actually looks like?
The last page of the set. Correct.
Yeah, I think it's the last page, right? It's a pre-engineered building. It is a lovely shade of blue.
So yeah, okay, I think I saw that, but that didn't look like it had peak roofs.
That was the biggest decision we had to make on the project. It's what color? I don't even think it's that color. It's a little bit more Merrimack.
So isn't that
blue.
like, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I can't really tell by the depth, but it looks pretty, a flat roof.
Yeah, it's a little bit pitched.
Very slightly pitched front to back, yeah.
Okay, if you say so. All right.
There's probably a quick section just below this on the plan.
Yeah, it starts at 14, I think it
Okay.
slopes to only 10.
It looks like your basic self-storage kind of building.
So it's 14.4 and it slopes down to 12.8.
Very slight. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay.
Just a couple questions. I'm assuming that the building's gonna have doors, like garage doors on it to, okay.
Yep.
And could you just speak to the vegetation screen?
I believe there's about 70 linear feet of mature vegetation between the curb line, almost 80 feet of mature vegetation between the curb of 114 and the face of this building. We're trying not to disturb as much of that as we can.
Okay.
Is there a view in any of the materials that shows that view from 114?
There's not.
Gene, what is it that brings us under site plan review? Just because there's already a site plan on the property? I mean,
Construction of more than 2,000
the size of the
square
shed.
feet of gross floor area.
Okay.
In addition, the wetlands, so Conservation has heard this once, give preliminary feedback. There's a couple of outstanding issues on the stormwater review, so we're waiting for Horsley Witten to respond to the response provided.
Okay.
One of which is the soils. I mean, there's tough soils in this area. Drainage in the soils is tough. She's requested a analysis of the trees that are going to be removed and possibly a site visit to mark those. They've responded saying alternatively, if we can just meet prior to any tree removal and assess that. In the report, I believe it says there's a minimum of 45 feet to the 114 curb. You've described it as double that. Hopefully it is double that, but
Correct. At worst case with some of the clearing, it's, the basin was expanded as part of the last round of stormwater comments. So the tightest point is not for the building, closer to the stormwater basin here. But that's still close to a 60-foot buffer.
So there's an increase of 1,700 square feet of rooftop and a reduction in the pavement area of approximately 1,500. So the net is 200 square feet of impervious area.
Okay.
The building department, the fire department, health department, DPW, operations have all communicated they have no concerns with what's being proposed. And again, we had a TRC meeting. The comments submitted at that meeting have been addressed in these plans.
Okay.
I just have
Gotcha.
actually one more question. So, I guess for the 114, 125 highway, is that the existing conditions or is that the proposed improvements from MassDOT?
That's the existing. I understand the curb may shift a little there, but what we're holding is the existing tree line, which we know is not going to be impacted here. But the existing curb line shown here is what's out.
Got it.
What's out there now, not the proposed.
Okay, so, makes sense to put it on for the next meeting, or do we need more time than that?
Yeah, I think stormwater will be wrapped up by the next meeting, so I can draft a decision once that gets responded to. She's on vacation this week, but I trust I'll have it in time.
Okay. so
I've
we'll
I've
continue-
drafted it.
Continue this public hearing until August 23rd, and if everything's wrapped up with stormwater and conservation, at least, or we know where that's going, then we can issue decisions at that point.
Great.
All right.
Thanks
Good
very
luck
much.
in the-
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Moving right along, 93 Elm Street, 1 Elm Court, RCG J. Wiley LLC, application for a common driveway special permit. Since driveway and site plan review special permit, site plan review and Article 10 administration. Applicant proposes a common driveway to serve as access egress to both 93 Elm Street and 1 Elm Court, which are existing multifamily residential parcels. Existing drive proposed to be improved. The proposed site improvement project consists solely of site and drainage improvements. There are no proposed changes to existing buildings. The site is located within the R4 zoning district and the Machine Shop Village Neighborhood Conservation District. All right, Gene, what are we doing with this one?
All right, so give me 1 second here. What's this? So the existing condition, I'm sorry, the proposed conditions are displayed on the screen. Again, a technical review committee meeting was held for the proposed project, and the applicant has incorporated feedback from that meeting in the application materials. The property is located within the Machine Shop Village Neighborhood Conservation District. The applicant has sent a courtesy notice / filing to the chair of the commission, but doesn't think the proposal requires a formal filing or approval. The applicant should confirm that is the case. I don't know if you've had any feedback yet. So the property is comprised of 2 multifamily residential structures which are located on separate parcels which are in common ownership by the applicant. There is an existing shared driveway that is used by both 93 Elm and 1 Elm Court. The applicant is requesting both a site plan review special permit and a common driveway special permit in connection with the proposed changes and improvements to the site, including modified driveway layout, elimination of an existing curb cut, creation of additional parking spaces, and a substantial improvement to drainage. The site plan improvements are intended to improve traffic circulation and fire safety access, eliminate a dangerous driveway intersection, increase green area, and improve landscape appearance at 93 Elm Street while improving existing drainage issues and parking. John Borghese, the town engineer, has agreed to do the stormwater, to review the stormwater design. He actually submitted comments late today that were added to your packet that were supplied to the applicant. They were minor in nature, and I anticipate that they can be resolved by the next meeting as well. The Building Department, Conservation Department, Health Department, and DPW Operations have communicated that they have no concerns with the proposed project. The Fire Department has noted that the swept path analysis has been included in the plan set and expressed no concerns or issues with the exterior improvements to the property.
Okay. All right, you guys can you tell us about what you're proposing, and also if you can, tell us about the 2 properties. I know they're multifamily, but what does that actually entail?
Sure. Brian Vaughn from Smolak and Vaughn, with Phil from Civil Design. This project actually is entirely underground drainage and addition of parking and changing to the driveway access. We're eliminating one of the driveways closest to Elm Street. We're going to add some green space. That's in the bottom right-hand corner of that plan. And Phil can walk you through the plan if you're interested in hearing more detail. Quite frankly, this is substantial improvement. There's no structural change to any of the buildings. I'm not entirely certain that actually site plan approval was was entirely necessary, or perhaps we could have sought a waiver. But we thought we'd err on the side of caution and bring it before you. And if I can, Eitan, you had two specific questions, and I've forgotten what they were.
I think so. Just tell me, 93 Elm, 1 Elm Court. They're multifamily buildings, but what does that mean? Are they how many units?
I believe there's a total of, I think it's 8 units in 1 Elm Court. Is it 8 in each? 8 in each. So
Okay.
there's 8 residential dwelling units in each of the 2 separate structures, and they've pretty much been there forever. And none of that's changing. There's no changes being proposed to the structures or the use. It's entirely just adding additional parking and altering the driveway layout.
Okay. Bill, you want to tell us about what the proposed work is?
Sure. For the record, my name is Phil Henry with Civil Design Group. So I'll work from rear sight, so left on your screen, forward right. So the lineal structure out back is 8 units. That's at 1 Elm Court. As you see there are 8 drainage lines coming off of those units, and there's a main trunk line that is picking up those units. And then obviously we're traversing that drainage down into an existing drain manhole on Water Street. That's essentially like the first phase of this. What we've learned is that there's a unique situation back there where those units have sump pumps that are pumping groundwater from the basements of those units, but they're pumping them to the surface in what we found to be 3 to 4 feet of topsoil. So basically, it's pumping groundwater and it's saturating the rear yards to the point in topsoil the water does not infiltrate very well. So it's creating a condition where they can't use their backyard. You can't even walk back there at times. And then the water infiltrates back into the sump pump, and it's like a circular motion. So we met with John out there, did some deep holes, and we found that the best way to get rid of that groundwater is to pump it out into a closed system and then run it onto Water Street. He allowed us to do that in an effort to repair portions of the Water Street drainage system that has been clogged and broken by tree roots over time, which we're committed to doing, and that's part of John's comment letter. So that's really phase 1, or the initial phase. And as you move towards 93 Elm Street, which is the front parcel, you could see that there's hatched parking spaces. We're proposing to add 19 parking spaces just to provide more functionality with the units themselves, and to also sort of redirect and to direct, I should say, the existing driveways. So the existing driveway off of Water Street is proposed to remain. We're actually proposing not to touch the curb line along that Water Street entrance. There is also a one-way on the south side, or Page North, on Elm Street. And then, as you can see, if you look down to the bottom right of the page, you'll see new contours that are traversing through dashed lines. That is currently the circular driveway that dumps you back out at the intersection of Elm Street and Water Street and High Street. We're proposing to close that curb cut. So there'll be one curb cut on Elm Street, one curb cut on Water Street. And this was all vetted out at the TRC meeting with fire to making sure that the swept paths still work. But there are no structural changes. It's all what I would say is deferred maintenance, and we want to couple that with the ability to add some parking spaces so that the site can run more efficiently.
Okay. There was a comment that came in as part of the public hearing, so I'm going to read that now, and I'd ask you guys to address it if you can. It says, "Dear Planning Board members, I live at 83 Elm Street. We are butters to 93 Elm and 1 Elm Court. There is a petition to add 11 parking spaces for a total of 38 to the property. Years ago, we had a fence installed to screen the parking and 2 dumpsters. The problem is that every winter, the snow gets plowed into the fence. With the wear and tear of an adjoining parking lot, the fence deteriorates faster than it should. It needs frequent replacing and repairing of cracks, posts, damaged rails, and spigots. Therefore, I'm asking RCG to provide the screening fencing this time at their cost, and I'm asking that they keep the fence in good repair at all times. It only seems fair, so I request that this item be added as a condition of the approval for their request. Thank you. And that's from Dagmar Schellinger, trustee, 83 Elm Street Realty Trust. Jean, was that the only comment?
That is.
Okay, fantastic.
To clarify, so I received a phone call with expressing concerns about any change to parking on street, and so Water Street, as you continue towards the downtown area, is restricted to resident parking only. I explained that has nothing to do with what's being proposed. Anything parking related is off-street,
Okay.
so.
All right. Any comments about the fence and how that relates to this project, and if there's something that can be done to either with the plowing or the fence maintenance as you guys are making additional parking spaces and making it look nice, if we can work
Sure.
that in?
David Steinberg from RCG.
Hi, David.
Yeah, I would propose, we're willing to put up a new fence. It's a tricky property line. That cedar fence was pretty in bad shape. We just bought the building last year. So
Okay.
I think, I don't think, as we correct the circulation, I don't think it's be an issue pushing snow up against them anymore. But at the same time, the fence is in bad shape. I think it's beneficial to both parties if we figure that out. So it's a little complicated because the way it intersects with trees and other vegetation on the edge of the property and back and forth. So I don't know how we want to handle that we would repair or replace or work out some new fence line with
Okay.
those neighbors. We're willing to do that.
All right, so we can try to work that in as a condition. I mean, it makes sense to probably do it while you're doing the project, or, at a time that works with it, not do it first and then realize you have to change things, right? Do it as part of everything so that it flows and you can do it within the timetable of how you're adjusting the driveway and things like that. So, okay, we can work with that. All right. Questions, comments from board members? Seems like a good thing to do. Kelly?
Yeah, just more related to the parking. So I know you're adding, I think was it 19 more spaces? Just curious, where are those cars parking now? Is this going to be a good relief on on-street parking? Are these people going to be moving from on-street onto the property? Just curious.
I think I can answer
11
that.
spots, yep.
Yeah,
11.
it's net 11. So obviously, it's a little chaotic with the parking now. So everybody who lives in that complex and all the units are occupied is able to park on site now. It's just where are they parking in the road, and are they obstructing the travel paths? And I don't think they typically end up parking out on the street there, that particular group. But we thought it would certainly be beneficial to reorganize that parking. With very little net gain in asphalt, we're able to just arrange the parking spaces much better, making them more clearly defined, get them sort of out of the way of the drive aisle. And we think by adding some extra parking, so that net 11 might be able to pull some other parking off that corner. So obviously the mills have a lot of demand. We try to do things that are mutually beneficial. So, at some point in the future, it might make sense to have some shared parking arrangements to get more people off the street and into the site there.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. Peter, anything? Melissa, Sean? Okay, so where are we with stormwater review?
So again, comments came in today. They were minor in nature. I think they can all be resolved by the next meeting. I would want to work with David and what he's proposing in terms of viability of a fence or screening or something to that effect, and we can condition that in a draft.
Okay, so what we'll do is is there anyone that wants to add anything? Okay, nope. All right, so what we'll do is we will continue this until August 23rd, can work on that, and then try to just talk with the abutter about what's proposed when we get kind of final language, and just kind of stay in the loop together. And then I think it seems like you guys bought it a year ago, doing some upkeep to make it better. Seems like a good thing. So, great, thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Great.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 19th? Motion made, can I get a second? You weren't here. You can make a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Kelly?
Yes.
Alyssa?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
I vote yes. Would you like to abstain?
No, I'll vote yes.
Okay, vote yes, 5-0, vote yes. All right, perfect. Anybody have anything before we adjourn?
No, thank you.
Very good.
Yes, I have some.
Oh, okay.
We had I don't think we've talked about this before, but we had a brief meeting about repairs to the Old North Pump Station boat launch area.
Okay, the one that was part of the town meeting and the
Yeah.
CPC funding and all
And,
that. Yep.
Gene organized it, and DPW was there. The person who made the proposal was there, and we had a good discussion. Hand carry boat launch, not a boat ramp. And some follow-up with John Borghese. I found some lists of dimensions of boat trailers, and in particular the wheel width for boat trailers, big ones, little ones. And through that, communicating with John, thought that in order to give the designer something to go by, something that's 48 inches or less wide could hit the mark of being more than adequate for hand launch, and at the same time not capable of handling a trailer, which is what we want. Not just build a boat ramp and put a barrier, but build something that if for some reason the barrier is overcome or missing, you still can't get a trailer on it. And there's no reason to spend the money for a trailer-capable ramp, because we don't want that used. And then after quite a few months, I finally got a response from some folks in the Adirondack Park with the New York State Department of Environmental Protection. They had some designs for hand-carry boat launches that are quite different than what we were thinking. And so I forwarded those to the group, just as another option.
Okay,
And
Thank you.
That was it. Gene, anything else I've missed on?
No, we have a monthly recurring meeting that will just
Yeah.
try to keep this on target.
Great,
okay, fantastic.
thank you.
All right, so let's get a motion to adjourn until August 23rd.
So moved.
Motion made. All in favor, Kelly?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Peter?
Aye.
I vote yes. We are adjourned. Awesome.